It is one of the most enduring questions about Elvis Presley. Was he coerced into marriage? Donna Presley now offers a measured account that challenges what many have long assumed.
Hello everyone, I'm Donna Presley and I'd like to welcome you to the Donna Presley official YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about something that's very personal about Elvis. When we talk about Elvis, we speak about the performer, the legend, but you don't always see the man. The Elvis we knew as a family man was different from the public image that followed him. He was thoughtful, creative, and full of feeling. Performing was never just a job to Elvis. It was his purpose. He could move an audience with a song or bring a story to life on film with the same natural ease, whether he was singing or acting. His gift was unmistakably God-given. Every word, every look, every moment mattered to him. He worked until it felt real. That was what he cared about most, was truth in his work. Now, away from the spotlight, Elvis was gentle and reflective. He loved to talk to you about life, faith, and people. He could have everyone laughing one moment and then grow quietly, thinking deeply the next. He felt things with a rare intensity, and he carried both joy and sorrow with complete grace. Now to the question people keep asking. Was Elvis coerced into marriage? To that answer, you have to understand the world he was living in. In those days, appearances mattered a great deal. A young woman spending time in or near Graceland without being married was considered improper by outsiders. It was not the Presley family who said that. We loved him, we understood him, and we wanted him to be happy. The judgment came from outside, from the press, from public gossip, and from people who felt entitled to make rules for his private life. Two sources of pressure then began to gather. Colonel Tom Parker, who managed Elvis's career, cared first and last about image and control. He believed a marriage would stop the gossip and keep the business steady. At the same time, Priscilla's father wanted respectability and protection for his daughter. Those interests moved in the same direction, and they created a weight around Elvis that was very hard to ignore. Elvis did not respond well to pressure. Freedom meant everything to him. Freedom to think, to create, to live on his own terms. He often said that without freedom, he would not be himself. My Uncle Vernon understood his. He shared with our side of the family that Elvis was not the kind of man who could be tied down easily. That was not disapproval. It was recognition of his nature and a wish to protect the space he needed in order to work and to be well. By the time marriage was being pressed on him, Elvis had grown as an artist and as a person. He wanted meaning and understanding, not a public solution to a public story. He cared about people, and he did not want anyone harmed by talk or scandal. He was told that refusing to marry would bring humiliation to a young woman, damage to reputations, and even trouble for his career. That is the setting in which a choice stops feeling free. So was he coerced? Yes, in the true sense of that word. He was not forced by threat or by violence. He was cornered by expectation, by image, and by duty that others laid on his shoulders. He consented, but under pressure strong enough to make refusal carry a weight and a cost that he did not want others to pay. Within the family, we tried to stand close and be steady. We did not judge him. We knew who he was, loyal, kind, private, and serious about his work. We also knew how hard it is to live a personal life in front of the whole world. Many of us did not expect and did not consider that he would truly go through with a wedding arranged in that way. When he did, we stayed beside him. That's what family does. Elvis's relationships cannot be understood without recognizing the extraordinary complexity of his inner life. He was a man of many layers, each one shaped by a different facet of his nature. His creative depth was immense. He moved between music, acting, spiritual study, and personal reflection with an intensity very few people could match. His gift was not limited to talent. It extended into an intellectual curiosity that often surprised those who only saw the performer. He read widely, questioned deeply, and searched for meaning. He explored faith with both reverence and urgency. His humor was playful and sometimes obscure. His emotional life was vast. When he cared for someone, he cared with a depth that could be almost overwhelming. To stand beside a man like that required far more than affection. It required perception, emotional intelligence, and the ability to understand his many dimensions without fear or insecurity. Elvis did not live on the surface of anything. The people closest to him had to be able to meet him on those deeper levels. They needed to understand the demands of his artistry, the weight of his expectations for himself, the discipline he brought to his work, and the spiritual hunger that guided so much of his thinking. Few people could do that, not because they did not care, but because sharing a life with a man of such extraordinary scope is demanding in ways that ordinary relationships do not encounter. Elvis was searching for someone who could walk with him through all the layers of who he was, someone who could see the artist, the thinker, the seeker, and the man who carried so much love and responsibility. Someone who could remain steady within the intensity of that world without losing herself and without diminishing him. This is why the idea of remaining with a single romantic partner was never simple. It was not about disloyalty. It was about the difficulty of finding someone whose emotional and intellectual landscape matched the breadth of his own. For Elvis, connection to be profound and sustaining and meaningful. When those qualities were not present, the relationship could not carry the full weight of his life. In the years that followed, there were other relationships. Women cared for him, and he cared for them. That was not carelessness. It was the mark of a man still searching for a bond that matched the depth of his heart. Here is the truth as I know it. The marriage served an image. It did not serve the man. It answered appearances. It did not answer his nature. Elvis lived as an artist through and through, a man who loved deeply, who thought deeply, and who often suffered from being misunderstood. He needed freedom in order to give what God had placed within him. When that freedom was constrained, he struggled. We understood that. We saw it, and we stood by him. So was Elvis coerced into marriage? Yes, he was. Not by a hand on his arm, but by the weight of public morality, by management's control of image, and by the insistence that a private question must take a public shape. He chose what would protect others and quiet the noise, and the cost of that choice fell on him. That is the Elvis I knew. That is the Elvis our family knew. And I believe God sent him to this world for a reason far greater than any of us will ever fully understand. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Until next time, God bless.
Thank you for watching. Donna Presley shares these moments of perspective so the past can be understood with greater clarity. If you would like to follow her as she continues this work, please subscribe. We look forward to welcoming you back.